Hi guys, welcome to session number 13 of Marketing 101. My name is Ankit and in this video series we are going through the topic of marketing. Now in our previous session we have started and finished the topic of marketing mix. Now when we were studying marketing mix, we saw that when a marketer is preparing a marketing mix strategy, he is going through a lot of questions in his mind. That is, what is the customer liking? Where do they buy their product? What is the reaction of the consumer when you change your product? What is the reaction of the consumer when you increase or decrease the price? So basically, the complete marketing strategy of any marketer depends upon the consumer behavior. So in this topic, we will go through the subject of consumer behavior. What do we understand by consumer behavior? So basically, it is the study of how individual makes decision to spend their available resources. Now, what are the resources which are available to a consumer? They have their time, their money, and their effort, which they spend on the consumption of a related item. So when we study consumer behavior, we're trying to answer, when a marketer studies the consumer behavior, he's trying to answer a lot of queries. Queries like what they buy, why they buy it, when they buy, where they buy, how often do they buy, and how often do they use it. These are the questions which a marketer goes through in his mind when he is studying the consumer behavior. So basically, consumer behavior process or understanding or study of the consumer behavior process, it starts way before the actual buying and it goes on even after the purchase has been made. Basically, the after sale services. Let us understand what are the constituent of consumer behavior or what constitute a consumer behavior. So first and foremost, these two words, consumer and the customer, I am sure you must have heard this word a lot in your marketing class. But a lot of time we interchange this word or we think that these two words mean the same thing. But in actually when we study consumer behavior, these two words have very different meaning. So let's start with the consumer. Now who is a consumer? Consumer is basically a person who is actually using your product. That is the person or the entity, that is the organization that uses the product or services. But it is not necessary that they are the person who have purchased it. So for example, a child who is playing with a toy, that toy is not been purchased by the child, but that child is the consumer of that toy. He is reaping the benefit of that toy. It also represents a situation where the product can be consumed. So a child is consuming a toy. The child is getting the benefits of the toy. If you buy shoes for yourself, then you are the person who is using that shoes. But when we talk about customer, that is the person or the organization who has actually purchased the product. Now these are the people who actually visit the shop and pays for the product. So in our child and toy example, it is the parent who have bought the toy for the children. So the parents are the customer. Child is the person who is using the toy, but is the parent who have bought the product. So it is a situation where product is purchased, but it is not directly consumed by the purchaser. In consumer, we can further divide our consumer in two different classes. First and foremost, we have the individual consumer. Now, the term individual does not mean the quantity of individuals. That is, we do not mean that one person is the individual consumer and 10 people are the business consumer. When we say individual consumer, these are the consumer who have bought the product or the goods and services for their own purpose. That is, their use is personal or for their own household. They are often influenced by the factors like brand reputation, quality, and price. So basically, these products are used for your own purpose and not for the commercial purpose. But on the other hand, when we say business consumer, we also can use the term industrial consumer or the organizational consumer. Now, who is the business consumer? These people, they buy your product because either they want to use that product in manufacturing another product or they want to do some utility enhancement in that product and resell it. So these products are bought to use for their own operation rather than the personal use. The idea is to earn profit by using your product and reselling them either through directly or using them in the process of production. These are not the ultimate user. They use the goods and services for processing, then creating an item which will be ultimately used by the final consumer. So it is a very commercial process. So business consumer are a commercial consumer. Before we go further into the subject of consumer behavior, what are the factors influencing consumer behavior or how do you study consumer behavior? It is important to understand what is the use of consumer behavior or what is the importance of studying the consumer behavior. The first importance of studying consumer behavior is that it helps marketer to determine a good marketing mix. When we were studying marketing mix in our previous session, we saw that a marketing mix is nothing but an optimum combination of 4 P's of the market. That is the product, price, place, and promotion. So when you study consumer behavior, it signals producer to develop a good marketing mix. In order to serve your customer better, you need to study how that customer will behave to your product. Then it helps to assess customers' actions or reaction. See, consumer is a very shrewd class in the marketing. So every good rational consumer seeks value for money and they expect superior feature at lower prices. So a small change in your product might affect consumer very drastically. So in order to understand how your customer will behave to that change in the product, to take change in the features of the product, you need to study consumer behavior. Third, in order to meet diversified consumer preferences. See, there are two things attached to this point. First and foremost, when we were studying the marketing, we understood that consumer class is not a homogeneous class. That is, within a group of consumers, there are a lot of individuals who have different wants and needs. Secondly, because of the globalization, now there are a lot of options available to the consumer. So it has made possible that there are a lot of choices available to the consumer. A lot of choices have made consumer realize that they have different preferences. In order to meet those preferences, you need to study consumer behavior. Fourth, it helps to create a plan and implement marketing strategies. When we were studying marketing strategies, we saw how a producer makes a lot of marketing decisions. That is, what kind of marketing channels are they going to use? What kind of advertisement channels are they going to use? So, in order to formulate and implement a good marketing strategy, you need to understand what your consumer is looking for and how your consumer will behave to those marketing channels. Fifth, it addresses special needs, personalities, and lifestyle of consumer. See, with the help of globalization, what has happened? Now the customer has the availability of a lot of information about the product. So within those information, the customer has realized that he needs special kinds of product. He needs products which have very specialized nature. They need products which are appealing to their personalities, which are appealing to their lifestyle. So to satisfy these special needs of the consumer, you first need to address that yes, consumer have those special needs. So if you study the consumer behavior, you will be able to know that your consumer, what kind of personalities does your consumer have? And accordingly, you can frame your marketing strategies. Sixth, it helps you to identify marketing segmentation. Now, when we were studying marketing segmentation, what did we understand? That our group of consumers is a group of heterogeneous people. In segmentation, we break those heterogeneous group into smaller group of homogeneous nature. That is, a similar kind of customers will be placed in a single segment. So how can you create a segment if you do not know about your consumer? Because the process of segmentation starts from understanding the consumer. So without studying the consumer behavior, you cannot create marketing segmentation. And finally, it helps you to remain updated with the technological advancement and bring new product to the market. So if you are a marketer who is very constantly studying the consumer behavior, you will be able to see or you will be able to foresee what are the changes which are coming in the consumer buying pattern. And in order to meet those changes, you will be able to either change your current product or bring a new product in the market at a faster pace. This is the importance of studying consumer behavior. In our next session, we are going to study what are the factors which affect a consumer behavior. I hope you like this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys are interested in studying the macroeconomics, then I have a separate playlist for that, which you can find at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching.